Hi, it's Richard from eBroker, and today we're going to have a look at the quite often tedious process of updating a client's address. Now, we have generally you would have multiple address lines on board for each client, and of course, if the whole family had moved, then that can be quite a tedious operation if you were going in and editing the addresses line by line. Bit of a pain there. Certainly easy to edit a phone number for a particular client in here in the list view in the grid, very much like a spreadsheet. You can edit the number there and simply press the down arrow when you finish the edit. You don't need to save or anything further, and it will retain that new value. But what if the whole family had shifted? So for that, you need to go backwards and forwards between each record, and it's quite a bit of a pain in the bottom actually. So there's always been a gizmo in here, if you know where to look. So under admin, there's a thing called address update. And what this allows you to do is to pull up either everybody that works at or lives or works at an address. So if we put 7 Notch in there, press enter, it immediately brings up all of the people at 7 Notch Place, even my Audi car, which has its own little record in here for recording oil changes and tyres and the rest of it. But let's go back and we'll actually pull up the family, PYKETT, enter, and there's everybody in the Pykett family. Now, we don't want to change the address at George Street, so what we can do is we can click on the column header, which will sort when the value in that column changes. And this is the same right throughout the program where you see this particular style of screen. It's called a grid control, and you can often search in here if there's a drop down, or you can certainly order or sort the thing either ascending or descending by just clicking on the header. So we don't want to change anything at George Street. So what we would do is we would delete those records out of the search screen here, and we don't want to change Manukau Road, and we don't also want to change the PO box. So now we've got, having deleted those, we've got the record set that we want to work with, so it's just Barbara and myself. And now we can go and search for the new address. Now this is quite handy because this links to our copy of the NZ Post postcode finder. So if we say, for example, type 255 Hill Road in there, one of our old properties, well, you can actually type it without a space, but let's do that. So the system goes away and it finds Brighton Scroggs Hill Road in Dunedin, Hill Road in the Gardens, which is the one we want, Pine Hill Road, Delamore, Dunedin, and so on and so on. So we simply select the one that we want here. If we're happy with that, we then press enter, and it shoots those values into the top of the column. So this is what it's proposing, replacing these values with when we apply. So double check that we're working with the records that we want, click apply, it makes the changes, and providing you're happy with all of those changes, you can then save, and it gives you a last-ditch attempt at abandoning this. We did have a very anguished call one day from a lady in Hamilton, and she said, you know all the Smiths in Hamilton? Yes. Well, they all live at the same address now, because she hadn't filtered it. So that's why we've got the additional steps in here. So now we can accept that change, save, and exit. And when you look back now in the client record, that's all changed, but the PO box is the same. So very, very easy, simply using admin address update to update the family addresses. Also, what I'd normally do when I do an update, obviously we're emailing the the carrier from the client file. So you double click on the client's email and send that change of address onto the particular carrier. But I'll also generally put a note in here that we've actually changed the address from Notch Place to 255 Hill Road, and that will put a line in the journal so that you can see when that address change actually occurred. So I hope that helps. Any queries at all, you know where to find us. Thanks very much for watching.